I'm going to say some things that will sound a little maybe cliche or a little hokey or a little silly. Stick with me. Ready? You are phenomenal. I mean, wow. I noticed you showing up today despite all that you got going on in your life, and I am so impressed by you. You are so incredibly brave. Don't think I don't notice. Don't think I don't see you choosing to make that tough decision over and over because you know it's the right thing to do. I see you. Your courage inspires me. It inspires me in ways you may never understand. You are absolutely worth it. We should spend all day talking about how special you are. I'm not kidding. You have done so much for so many people, and you don't even realize it. You are a special human being who deserves the world. So I'm curious, when was the last time you made someone feel special? A time when you singled someone out of the crowd and lifted them up. And I don't mean on their birthday or anniversary. I mean a time when you noticed someone and took a significant effort to go out of your way to celebrate them. I coach youth sports. Little kids have called me Coach Matt for over 10 years. I love being Coach Matt. It is one of the most important jobs I will ever have in my life. Whether it's softball teams or soccer teams, I am hyper aware that my job as a coach is not to win the next game or to place in the next tournament. That is never my priority. My job is to make the kids I coach feel loved when they're on the field. One of my favorite things to do when our team is like all in a group huddle between innings or at halftime or whatever is to call out individual kids for who they are, not just for what they do on the field. I'm going to say that again. I love to celebrate who these kids are, not what they do. Here's why. These kids have whole lives going on beyond the time they spend in our uniforms. So many of them are dealing with heavy challenges and sharp edges in their life. Family member illnesses, their own anxiety and mental health challenges, learning differences in school, bullying, peer pressure, unkind and even abusive adults in their life, either currently or in their past. They carry so much on their young shoulders. And all of that impacts them on the field. All of that makes them feel far too often like a washed out, overstretched, unspecial rag that's barely hanging on by a string. If I only celebrated their skills, their performance, or their sports related results, they'd feel like if they made a mistake, well, their worth, their value would be minimal. I love to make a huge deal about things like their choice to be a vocal leader on the team, or their willingness to stretch themselves, or their courage to take a risk on the field, their sportsmanship, and the way they care for their teammates. I love picking one kid each game or practice and really pouring it on about this stuff, about who they are, not just what they do. I can not only see their eyes light up when they get lifted up like this, but I can see the wounds in their soul caused by so many other heavy and sharp things in their life. I can see those wounds start to heal just a little bit. There's this famous biblical story in the 14th chapter of Mark's Gospel. It's about a time when Jesus is in a town called Bethany. He's in this living room, hanging with a small group of people from the town. These aren't rich folks. In fact, some of them were folks who had been sort of outcast by society. Anyway, Jesus is sitting there with his group, and a woman from the group came over to him and did something extraordinary. She takes a jar of really fancy, really expensive, luxurious perfume, and she breaks the jar and pours all the perfume over Jesus' head. To be clear, this is a huge honor, like a lavish and unnecessary way of making Jesus feel special and honoring his importance. But remember, these aren't rich folks that are in the room. This was expensive perfume. So a bunch of the people in the room were like, whoa, that's crazy. We could have sold that perfume for like good money. What are you doing? I love that Jesus takes charge of the room and he says something to the effect of, don't scold this woman. She just set an example. She showed us that we should pour out love onto each other lavishly. He says, she has done a beautiful thing to me. And then he tells them that people will tell stories about this woman for eons because of this. We are supposed to make people feel special. We are supposed to lavishly pour out our love onto one another. We are supposed to go out of our way to do beautiful things for people, not because of what they've achieved or what they have done for us lately, but for who they are. Will you join me in the spirit of prayer? God, from whom all love flows, make me a vessel of your lavish and unconditional light. God, help me go out of the way to lift the downtrodden souls of the world. Help me shine your light on the special beauty that hides just below the surface of all of us, hiding so well that most of us can't even see it. God, I want to douse people with words of their worthiness, of their magnificence, and of their inner magic. Make me a vessel of your lavish and unconditional light. Amen. Between is about you. Take this message into your life this week and make the extra effort to make people feel special. And remember, you are welcome here, no matter what shame you carry, no matter how heavy or how sharp other parts of your life have been, no matter who you love or how your truth walks in this world, you are welcome here, and your you-ness is so appreciated in our community. Now go with God's love and create the church between.